Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Lo, and on this channel we talk about all things luxury handbags and all the weird, wonderful and occasionally ridiculous things that happen in fashion. Well, it is November by now. I hope that everybody had a wonderful spooky season and a lovely Halloween. Just want to do a quick shout out and thank you to all of the creators who did my Halloween bag tag. It was so fun to see all of your videos. But now that we are in November, it is time for October's fashion news. And October was a month. We had a €1 billion beauty deal, a wild Hermès scam. Hey, once again, some hilariously unserious items coming down the runway during Fashion Week. And one very questionable launch involving faux bush. Yeah. Really. So if you like a little bit of luxury gossip mixed with some industry insights, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps me out a ton. Let's get started with the category that gave us the most joy, the hilariously impractical things that came down the runway in the recent fashion weeks in Paris and Milan. And October really gave us some of the wildest, most memeable runway moments in recent history, plus a few serious ones too. So let's start off with that. Pier Paolo Piccoli at Balenciaga kicked off the month with a very controlled, elegant debut. Sculptural silhouettes, sharp tailoring, wearable drama, truly a tribute to Cristobal Balenciaga. That was, if you ask me, long overdue after the reign of Demna. So I did want to touch upon that. But then let's move on to something more chaotic, namely the show of Duran Lanting at Jean-Paul Gaultier, which was like full-on chaos the Gaultier way. It's playful, provocative, but also featuring prints of hairy bodies, like hairy chests, hairy legs on the runway. And critics were kind of split in terms of how to feel about it, but at least it definitely made everyone talk. So in that sense, mission accomplished. Now, Maison Margiela gave us the ultimate dentist chic appointment energy and left their models kind of speechless, quite literally. So their models walked down the runway with a strange contraption strapped across their face, which was supposedly modeled after Margiela's signature for stitches. So the idea, according to the show notes, was to create a uniformity of expression, but to many it also kind of read as a literal silencing of the individuality on the runway. Moving on to the runway show of Thom Browne, there they just went full sci-fi, like alien heads strutted down the runway, complete with the signature tailoring quirks like the shoulder pads and miniature pants. It was bizarre, otherworldly, and exactly the kind of spectacle that you might expect from Thom Browne. Then of course Moschino also joined the absurdity parade. They did that mostly in their accessories, so they had bags that were shaped like apples, cardboard boxes, cooking pots, and even a brick. Totally ridiculous, totally Moschino, and somehow very fun. Then moving on, the musical chairs in the creative director's world are seemingly cooling down as people are landing and now doing their first collections, but we are still not done. Grace Wales Bonner was appointed as the new creative director of Hermès Menswear. And I think this is pretty historic as she's the first black woman to head at one of the top luxury houses. Her first collection won't drop until 2027, but I think we're all happy to wait for that and very curious to see what she will do. Okay, let's talk business, industry, and lawsuits. First off, the European Commission, yay, go European Commission, they fined Gucci, Chloé, and Loewe a combined €157 million for price fixing. Basically, they were telling retailers how much they could or couldn't discount, which means that luxury brands were in fact trying to control the resale prices after products have left their warehouses, and they are not supposed to do that under European law. Now, Gucci's parent company Kering says that they had already accounted for the fine, so apparently this massive fine is just sort of an adjustment, but perhaps they are compensating by something else that Kering did in the past month, and that is selling their whole beauty division off to L'Oreal for 4 billion euros. This also includes the brand Creed, which is something they had literally just bought. This move, led by Kering's new CEO, Luca de Meo, is all about cutting debt and doubling down on fashion, which they find to be their core activity. Meanwhile, L'Oreal now gets to handle the beauty lines for brands like Balenciaga and Bottega Veneta for the next 50 years, so that is kind of a power play from L'Oreal's perspective, and I'm very curious to see what kind of impact that will have. Now, in the rumor corner, Authentic Brands Group is reportedly in talks to buy Marc Jacobs from LVMH, so these rumors have already been going on for a longer time that LVMH is putting Marc Jacobs up for sale, but it seems that now we're actually getting a bit more clarity around who will be buying Marc Jacobs. Well, ABG has a very commercial way of handling brands, so it could be that Marc Jacobs will be heading in a very different direction. We'll just have to see what happens. Now, Hermès is currently in a pretty messy situation, and I just want to do a little shout out to my friend here on YouTube, Traveling Gay Panda, who shared this news with me, and of course I'll link his channel down below. Go check it out and subscribe. In any case, what's going on here? Well, in Detroit, a huge Hermès scam came to light involving a boutique assistant manager. They allegedly told clients that there was this employees-only online shopping portal where customers could buy discounted Hermès bags, and then he charged people privately, often over 50,000 euros, for what turned out to be fake bags. So there's no receipts, no paper trail, but there are dozens of victims. If you ever needed a reminder to only buy from verified resellers with proper authentication, this is your cue. And this is also one of those cases where I'm very curious to see what eventually happens. But lawsuits take forever. It doesn't really matter all that much where you were holding them, so I hope we'll ever be able to get an update on this. Then next up, some industry news. Fashionphile released its 2025 Ultra-Luxury Resale Report last month, and they dropped some interesting insights in that. Apparently, 2025 is the year of personal rebellion, which I don't really find all that surprising with all of the personalization and the bag charms and everything that we've been doing. People are also shopping resale to stand out and to reject fast fashion culture. Some of the top shopped bags were the LV Speedy and the Chanel Double Flap. Those remain still very popular, but also the Goyard searches were up with 400%. Textures are huge, suede up with 47%, and bag charms, as I already mentioned, with 85%. So yeah, we now have some data supporting that accessorizing your accessories is an official thing. Meanwhile, in Paris, Shein managed to cause a small revolution. They opened a pop-up store at the luxury BHV department store in Le Marais and immediately faced protests. Employees that work within the department store went on strike, and several luxury brands announced that they will be pulling out of BHV to avoid being associated with Shein. So yeah, Shein's PR strategy might need a little rethink here. Gonna close off with some new drops of items that I doubt you'll be buying, but which are definitely worthwhile to mention. First up, a new release of Louis Vuitton collaborating with Takashi Murakami, and they reunited for the 7th edition of the Artycapucines collection, featuring Murakami's rainbow flower and a reimagined dragon in the clouds indigo blue painting on a Capucines EW. It's whimsical, collectible, and a reminder that LV's art collabs never really miss. And the bags are in super high demand, even though they cost between 6 and 50,000 euros. That is why I won't be buying, and I think most of you won't either. But that's okay. We can appreciate them from a distance. And then we're going to wrap up with Kim Kardashian, who had her new Skims launch. And what did she put out on the market? A $32 thong with a built-in faux public wig. I'm gonna post a picture. I hope that YouTube is okay with that. This product is called Ultimate Bush, and it's sold out. So if you were looking for some ultimate bush, I guess I would just suggest you stop shaving, which is also a lot cheaper. But I guess that regardless your feelings about this product, we do have to admit that Kim knows exactly how to make a viral moment out of underwear. So yeah, good for you, Kim. So that is our October fashion recap. A month of power moves, poetic appointments, financial finds, and fake Birkins. From Grace Wales Bonner making Hermès history to Kim Kardashian's viral lingerie moment. Fashion never really fails to keep us on our toes, doesn't it? Let me know in the comments down below what story caught your eye this month. And if you want more like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. As we say in Dutch, doei!